Hey, so what's going on, y'all? My name is Cavell Anderson, and I'm starting this family channel with my mom that's going to be called My Family History. So here's my mom. Her name is
Sherry.
and basically, we're going to be talking about theories and different things that's gone on throughout history because it's a lot of stuff that's interesting that's a lot of people might not know a lot about, and we have some opinions and stuff, and we just want to build a community where we can talk about our opinions with you all, and you all can share your opinions and stuff in the comment section with us as well. So basically, let's jump right into it. So we just got through watching this video. You can find it linked down below in the description. And to this video, it was about basically pyramids and the truth about their use and what they were actually used for, because for so long we've been told that they were tombs and stuff like that, but all the evidence doesn't support that really at all. So we just saw a video which you can watch down below if you want to actually see the video, but we wanted to just talk about it with you all and then just have a conversation real quick about it. So after seeing the video, Mom, what was your thoughts on it?
My first thought was that the information shared in the video is amazing. But my second and natural inclination is to believe everything that I saw in the video. For the simple fact that the history of America is spotty, to say the least. And it mostly centers around somebody with more money, more power, taking credit for something that somebody with less power, less credit does. Can you imagine if instead of the pyramids being tombs as we were told, they were actually conductors for free energy that would cover the entire world? Now, can you imagine, especially America being the capitalistic nation that it is, wanting all of its people to have free energy? How would you be charged for electricity and all the power that you use if the stuff is given away free?
And I think that that's a good point. I don't think that it's something necessarily the governments and the people who basically run the world would want. I don't think that it is an idea. And it is kind of strange that in the video they talked about how Tesla had a similar idea in more recent years. And he claims that he 100% perfected it. And if you look at his body of work, his resume, all the things he's actually done, like he was talking about having a phone, having a device in your hand where you can see each other through the phone. He was basically describing Skype, and he was describing FaceTime and stuff like that way before people were even talking about really cell phones or anything like that. So he had vision, and he was thinking at this level while everyone else was just thinking so far behind. And he's accomplished so much that you have to really wonder, if he said he's perfected something, would he just up and lie about that? And if he was just, let's say, a nut job lying or something like that, why was the government so adamant to destroy what he's done?
Exactly. He died, as many people who come up with stuff like this in America, broke and alone. And then the minute he died, all his materials, all his information, it was suddenly destroyed or just disappeared. I wonder why that would be. I mean, if he was correct and we could have had Skype when I was young and had, all this, cell phones and all the stuff that we think, wow, we're recreating. It's funny, in my generation, we laugh at my youth, my son included, because they see things or get things that they think is new technology. And in our minds, we've seen this, we've done this. So imagine at my age, in my 50s, when Nikola Tesla was doing the work that he was doing, he was ahead of the curve then, but now everything he discovered then is a new creation now. It's the circle of life, and especially the circle of life in America. There's really not much new. You just find people that they build on top of something that's always been there. But again, it's a sad testimony for the way that things are, because the people who should get the credit, there is so much, I mean, there's limited information on this man who should have outshined Thomas Edison and all the people of those times who've been given credit for all these creations. And then the other astounding thing is, you look at this technology in the pyramids. We tend to think that the ages before us, the people were slow. Everybody knows how cave people are depicted. They are not the brightest people on the earth. But it's mind-blowing to think that maybe we're the ones just catching up to what they knew centuries ago.
Yeah, and I think that that's actually a big conversation, because there was a huge and massive flood and everything, and that's basically told about in different histories around the world, like completely unrelated civilizations, parts of the world. They all had this massive flood, and it's depicted in the Bible. It's in other books that just came from all different places and cultures. Like, it's a lot of stuff that people debate about to this day, but certain events is the same no matter what book you look in, no matter where it comes from in the world. So certain events, it's clearly factual. And if you look on the pyramids, there's evidence that it's been underwater, so it survived throughout this. But people were thinking that the people who, the Egyptians that's there now are the ones who built the pyramids and stuff like that. And there's actually no mention of who built the pyramids actually in all the stuff that the current Egyptians actually wrote on everything. Like all the drawings and stuff, there's no evidence that they even mentioned who made the pyramids, because I don't think anyone actually knows for certain who made the pyramids. I think that was just something that was inherited by the current Egyptians. And one of my bigger theories about the whole thing is that it was made before the big storm. The pyramid was actually a lot older than people think. I think that it could be like 10,000 years old or something like even crazier than that. And I think that if technology was at a point where, because you have to look at how it's aligned perfectly with space and stuff like that. Like, how did they know what the Earth looked like from the space down? Like, how could you possibly have a view like that to put something exactly where it needs to be? There are theories and stuff that someone watched shadows and stuff to learn about space and everything, and that could very well be true as well. But the precision, the way that certain things are cut throughout history, the way a lot of stuff from our past suggests that they were further advanced than we might give it credit. And let's say we had a big massive flood today. How much of a flood, because this flood was said to have lasted a lot of years. If we had a massive flood today, how long would it take for all this big flood to get rid of all of our cars, to get rid of all of our technology from the houses and stuff like that? Because these floods was completely destroying stone buildings and stuff like that. So we're living in buildings made of wood and stuff like that. How long would it take for a flood to literally just wipe everything from our currently? How long would it take to wipe everything out and make it like, so basically whoever comes after us would think that, oh, maybe we were like, maybe we weren't as far ahead as they are and stuff like that.
We're the Flintstones, we're the cave people. Because then add to that, you're talking about the flood that destroyed the earth. We'd have no idea how many times the earth has been destroyed and, replenished again. But imagine a structure so strong, built so well, that even after the water clears, after, civilization has gone on for thousands and thousands of years, this structure is still standing. Yet we in our minds really think that we are superior, and again, we've created everything, and that, don't get me wrong, this generation is very smart, a whole lot more advanced than I was as a child. However, where's our pyramid? What will we leave that somebody will be discovering thousands of years from now, saying, oh my goodness, they have this technology?
Exactly. And one of the things that I'm really thinking about in my mind is that in history, they say that people came down from the sky. There's always been, in every culture really, there's some gods that came down from the sky. And I know how a lot of people look to something bigger, and like to look to something bigger, and stuff that they don't understand, it just becomes something that's just huge and insane. But what if we had a civilization that could look and put something from at sky view, like they can look down and know where something should be and perfectly align it with the sky and stuff like that, build every aspect of this structure where it's so powerful, where it can generate energy, where it can do all of these things that we are just now thinking about in this age. If they were doing that back then, what else were they doing? What type of vehicles did they have? Did they have a way to, like, basically, is it possible that someone during that time, they had some type of technology, they knew this flood was coming, they knew this event that was basically going to wipe out the majority of the world was coming? Is it possible that they had technology far beyond just the pyramid, some type of spacecraft where they could have actually escaped from this planet and found somewhere else to go throughout the solar system? Like, that would be something. It's almost unthinkable because of how we think of them. Like, oh, they couldn't be that far along. We're still not that far along, but we're still not as far along as the pyramids, if this is true about the pyramids.
Exactly.
So if these guys, if they were capable of predicting that this storm was coming and they left, and then they can't, like, what if the gods that's being written about and that's being depicted in these pictures are actually people that was here before the flood, and they felt obligated to come back and help us start back progressing because maybe they felt guilty for running and leaving people here and stuff during that time. Like, we've come up with these miraculous changes, with these miraculous creations and stuff, and no one know how we got that knowledge and information. But there are definitely a bunch of pictures of gods walking among the men and women of this earth. So someone coming down in a spaceship and basically helping us, like, what's their motive to do that? Like, what, like, if this is true, what would they like, what reason would they have to use their gas resources? And, like, why would they just be coming down here teaching people mathematics and stuff? Like, I don't really see how that would benefit some complete aliens that are from different planets or something like that. I don't understand why they would come down here just to educate our people. Like, they could be doing so much stuff to better their planet, yet they're coming to this planet. So it sounds like my theory is that the people who did survive by abandoning this planet and going wherever they went, I think that they came back, and because, like, people had never seen spaceships or never seen something come down from the sky or anything that could even fly, because you got to think that the flood lasted a while. This flood period, it lasted a while. So the people who survived, it lasted generations from my understanding, it lasted generations. So then you just see people coming down from the sky, and what are you going to think? You're going to think, oh, I've never seen nothing like this. My whole life, it's been covered by water and stuff, and we've been living under these conditions. I've never seen anything come down from the sky. You're going to be like, oh, this is some type of god. This some type, not realizing, oh, this is just another person that used to be here generations ago, but they're coming to help this world get back on track to rebuild again. So what if it was just people coming to help us rebuild and teaching us some of the things from when they were actually thriving on this planet, when they had wireless energy and stuff like that, and when they made all these discoveries so long ago? And that's basically my theory on it. What do you think about that?
Okay, well, I don't subscribe to that theory in particular, because while I will not turn this into Bible study, I do believe in God's creation. But one of the things that I do also understand is, even from reading the Bible, it says that God told man to replenish the earth. To replenish something means that you have to now build it back to where it was. So personally, I would go along with, and we talk about aliens and space, and we have, these astronauts going and trying to probe other planets. My opinion, if we separate that from my being, a Christian, my thing is Earth, and I'm just going from my perspective as an American, we tend to be arrogant and think that we are the only one. My thing is, what if there is life on other planets? What if there is life on other planets? Maybe not life like we know it, but other life. So, the spaceships and all this. I mean, look at technology. They just had the technology show now. I mean, that just went on in, I want to say, Vegas last week, where they're talking about now, taxis that levitate and drive above the traffic. All this stuff is, again, stuff that when we were young, we watched the Flintstones for the cave people. We watched the Jetsons for what was supposed to be the future. All this stuff, it's somewhere, and maybe we're just finding it here. But again, as for, the people escaping the great flood and going and live on another planet and come back and help us, I can't really co-sign on that, but I do think it's interesting. Because again, like I said, I'm not arrogant enough to believe that I am the only life in the galaxy. However, my concern is where I live now. And like I said, there is so much more that needs to be explored from where we are now. But the problem is always, once a great thing is found, you're going to have somebody in power that takes it and hides it and only releases what they want released, because they're going to figure out a way to make the biggest dollar off of what's found.
That's true. That's true. And I think that one of the things that's most crazy to think about for me is that all these thousands of years later, we have Nikola Tesla come along, and he predicts cell phones and Skype and FaceTime and all of these things. And back then, that was like just amazing to think about. And then he had found a way to create this free energy, and that was like, he came along thousands of years later. So if he was at the level where he's thinking this far ahead, where the majority of electronics and stuff we use today comes from Nikola Tesla, if we had a genius like that many years ago, and he was thousands of years behind this technology that they had back then, what about their geniuses? And that like, what type of stuff were they coming up with? What level were they thinking on? And I think that that's something that you have to consider, that you definitely have to think about. If this is indeed some type of, they were generating electricity, if they were smart enough to generate free electricity, which we have not done yet, if they were doing that then, it's safe to say there might have been some type of planes, something. You don't really know what they could have had back then. We also don't know how old the pyramids are as well. We really just don't know how old they are. And all the floods and natural stuff that happens on the planet throughout years, it's very easy to imagine how things could be lost, especially like vehicles and stuff, depending on how they were built. And like, water can take stuff insane distances, and yeah, you never know how far water, and if it was covering the majority of the world at one point in time, stuff that started in Egypt could be anywhere around the world. And there could be findings today where you find certain materials somewhere all around the world where it could have been originally from Egypt, but because it's found in a place, let's say they found some form of metal or something, and you found it in a place that has a lot of metal there, you wouldn't think twice about it. You'd be like, oh, this clearly came from where we're at right now. When in reality, that could be metal that came, somehow they found a way to have that in Egypt so many years ago. So I feel like, and you also have to take into consideration, only 5% of the world's ocean has been explored. So if, let's say, some massive flood has happened and it wiped away pretty much all the advanced technology from a civilization, from a certain point in history. If we've only explored 5% of the world, 5% of the water in the world, the other 90, that leaves 95% of water throughout the world that some of this advanced stuff could be in, some of this evidence could be in. So I think that a lot of answers, obviously, flood basically destroyed the world. A lot of the answers that people are looking for, that we all want to know, can probably be found somewhere in some body of water. And more evidence than we currently have, or probably maybe it could be destroyed by the pressure from water. We don't know. We really don't know. But I think that it's definitely worth looking into. I think that this was definitely an interesting topic. I think that we're definitely going to have a lot more conversations and stuff like this on the channel. Let us know what you all think down below in the comment section. Let us know if you agree with our theories. Let us know if you have some type of different theory or perspective. And also let us know if there's other videos and stuff that we should watch to become more educated on these topics, so we can change some of our perspective and views if there's evidence going against any of this stuff, and if there's evidence supporting it. We definitely just want to have these discussions and see what everyone else thinks is possible. This is all about discussion and fun. So make sure you all drop a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel for more content from me, my mom, and our family. This is going to be a family thing, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, make sure you all subscribe, and we'll catch you all on the next one. Later, y'all.